Hello everyone. Welcome to Powershell Done Poorly. Hope you're having a great day. We're going to be looking at our panel code from last time, which we made some great progress. We got our telemetry hooked into the labels. We got our sizing more or less right. We'll do a few more tweaks on that. We'll try and get the title of the panels looking decently. Maybe get a different background on there. We'll try and put some opacity to the panels. What else will we do? We'll maybe try and get some docking code thrown together. So I've been thinking about how this could potentially work, but there's probably a few simple ways we could do this. So we're going to look at trying to get the docking code working. That should be interesting as well. What else? Yeah, we'll see if we can leverage some of the work we finished up with, where we were preparing the hash tables to help us figure out exactly the types of values, because we do have to put some work into the panels themselves, so they'll grow according to like vector values, which contain multiple rows of values. So we have to add the code to handle that logic. So we'll just get SimpleRockets just up and running. We'll also load up our ISE. Before we do, we'll just make sure we don't have any ISEs running. No, I don't think I see any. All right, we'll be good to go then. Hope everyone is having a fantastic evening. If your day hasn't been the greatest, then hopefully we'll make it a little better now. Just some laid back vibes and successes in PowerShell. I think we'll have to change our res here. Get this out of full screen. So how are you all doing? Just want to give some welcomes out there. Thanks for joining the chat, Furious Jason. Welcome back. Hallie W, welcome back. Alfred Judokus, welcome back as well. And Commander Root, thank you for joining us. There we go. All right. So that should work well. Let's go ahead and get ready for this. Okay. We'll go ahead and load up the default tester craft that we have, which flies nice and smooth. Where is it? There it is. Oh no, that's not it. Sorry about that. That's our 2 tester. There it is. And I think for now, we're just going to stick with one panel, make our debugging lives a lot easier instead of having to close panels each time. That will be much better. Let's edit the flight program. Yeah, we already have that. Interesting. We're gonna load up one of our defaults. Let's say velocity. We seem to like that one. Go ahead, get it. There it is. All right, we'll save it to craft. I think that makes us good to go. All right, we can get that started. Let's go back to where we were. Now, I think I've already added the opacity because that was quite easy to do. Let's check our classes. So spacecraft. Oh, we're going to have to use spacecraft velocity and panel. There you go. We're not going to be changing anything in spacecraft, but yeah, you can see here I quickly added this, did some tests with it, and it seemed to work out quite well. So let's give it a go. get this thing in the air. There we go. We'll keep the throttle at something decent, 2/3. All right, we can get rid of these. We can slow this down. Get the gear in. And we'll start the data logging now from SR2 logger. That's going to be sending data. Let's see what our timeout is on the receiver. If you'll recall, we have a quick timeout here just to help us control things. So we'll set it to 10 seconds, just to make sure things are working properly. And they are not. Interesting. So we'll have to figure that out. What's going on here? Okay, interesting. So let's see what is going on with our control. Okay. Okay, that's right. We didn't change our reference here to the correct spacecraft file. Let's try that again. Still nothing. Okay, so let's see what's happening with our status results. Doesn't seem that our receiver run space is running, so we'll check our run space output and see what's happening. Receiver script started, so it seems that it's running. So where is our receiver? Oh, that's right. We were trying to okay. We're gonna have to figure out what is going wrong here. So it seems like we're getting data. Let's just double check that. We were getting data, yeah. Okay, so that's working. Panel. Let's take off the opacity. Let's try that again. Wow, okay, interesting. We didn't really make any changes. Panel names, my panels, yeah, all that's good. Nothing there. All right. So, does anyone have any suggestions? What should we be looking at? Because I don't think there's anything obvious that's wrong. So what could be going on? Let's see rs out dot receiver. Okay. And let's check rs control dot receiver. It's started and it is receiving data, but the panels are not starting. Okay. So the panels are not starting, which means okay, so we were trying to for HQ. All right, well, let's see what number 2 does. We do have a second version. I think I saved. Let's double check the time on it. Okay, it's 10 seconds. Holy cow. Okay, so this one as well, it's not working so well. Let's see what's going on. We have things on, so let us try. Let's make sure this works. Ah, okay. So the receiver is not working. Why? It could be working actually. Let's close this. We'll run it again. It's only on for 10 seconds, so hmm. Doesn't seem to be changing. Okay, so something is, oh, that's right, because I'm not sending the code from inside here. So we have to change that to validate that the map parameters are being sent. So we're going to change the template or the program on the orange black box. So we'll go edit program. And right now it's only sending velocity. It's not really sending what the PS map needs. So we'll load program and we'll find the specific one that PS map needs. There it is. Load. Save to craft. We'll load that. And we'll give PS map another try. Okay, so we'll just get this going. All right. And there we go. We'll activate the SR2 logger, which will start outputting the data. And we'll try doing this now. It seems to still not be working. Okay, so something is up. What could be up? I didn't really change anything. So something is up with the panels being displayed because this is this is using not the same panel class. So why is this one having trouble being displayed? It's interesting. Let's see. Panel fuel dot show dialog. Ooh, interesting. Okay. That. All right. Well, let us insert a breakpoint there. And we will run this. Okay. Let's see what panel names is equal to. All right. Panel names is looking good. So for each name and panel names, then we're going to populate our panel data object. So let's okay, so we can step out. Shift F11. So now we should have a craft object with state data, or actually wouldn't have state data, that our craft's crashed. But let's relaunch it, get some data going. We can do that from the runway. We're gonna just get the positional data. That's all that should be sent with the current program, but even then, let's toggle that. We'll rerun. We'll get our state populated for the craft object. Let's get, oh, no. Okay. What's going on here? No. Let's see. Let's check the full output of the receiver. Ah, that's it. Okay. So the socket is definitely an issue. So let's see if we're having multiple ISCs. No. So I think closing and restarting ISC will help with that. Let's let's go back to ours. No. PS map. Let's try. There we go. However, okay, we'll have to open up the receiver script block. And out. Okay, so control output. So for some reason this is not working either. Now it's not working, so we need to figure out why our receiver is still not working. It is possible that there is something in the background jamming that particular UDP port. So I suppose what we could try is we could actually go back to what we were working on, which are the panels. We'll go back to the first one. We'll open up the classes we're using. Let's just say panel and spacecraft. Okay. We'll go back to here. We'll set spacecraft. We'll go back into here. We'll end our flight. We'll reload the default of all because that's what our default spacecraft file has. We could even select the all one. We'll have to select the orange black box again, go back in. All right, there we go. And let's see. So that is good. Let's just turn the logging on. We know it's on. Let's double check that just to be sure. Okay, it is running. And yeah, it is flashing every second. So it's doing its loop. So that looks good. And then let's give this a go. Okay, so that still doesn't work. Okay, we didn't. Okay. We can double check the RS out. RS out dot receiver dot output. Yeah, it's still having that exception. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to go into our receiver here, and we'll have to change the port. So we'll change the port inside of SimpleRockets on the actual component as well, because there is an option inside the panel on the left to do that. So we'll do that. So right now, 2875. 2875. There you go. That should be okay. Okay, so 2875 is the new port. We should no longer be getting this kind of error in here. We'll go right in, start the logging, run the script. We don't get the windows, so we didn't make any advancement there, but let's see at least what the okay, it looks like it's receiving bytes, which means our craft.state should be populated, and it absolutely is. Okay, so that's good. Our receiver is working again. So now let's see what's going on here. Panel PS1. That was the last parameter that I was specifying, but I think we were, yeah, inserting things there. And then the PDO, the panel data object, which we were putting, which is here, we were using to... How is the font size, everyone? Would you like me to increase it a bit more? Let me just recalibrate something here. There you go. Okay, so all right. Thank you for the validation there. So we know that's working. Let's just, okay, we know that's working. Now we need to see what, let's look at result. Status results. Okay, ooh, state completed. Why are they, okay, so somehow they're going straight to completed, it seems. But I should have a list object I can inspect. Yes. So if I look at list, and let's say I have to look at list. Yes. Okay, so list select star. No. Okay, I gotta look at, I think it was Boprox's article. So let's see if we can find Boprox's article. Boprox run space. I think it's this one. That's the kind of basis for most of the code I do on run spaces, I believe. Could it be this one? Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Where is it? I think it's this one. I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. No, it's not. This one doesn't have the list object. And it's not Boprox's, so That's Dr. Scripto. So, where is it? Let's try, I think I know, synchronized. It could be this one, actually. It's very possible it's this one. It's not that one. Okay, so we can't find it, but the list is gonna have, I think we need to select handle or select expand property handle. Okay, so is completed, true. You see, okay, so that's what's telling us what's going on. Okay, so we need to rerun our script now. Now, none of the forms popped up. So, yeah, and all of the run spaces for the forms basically catch out rs. Okay, we need to look at, okay, so if we look at rs out, and let's say we have our panel values, I believe, yeah. So let's say activation dot output. Yes. Okay. So now we can get some more info. So at least we know what's going on. There's an error happening. We can clear our error variable before we do our try. So we'll clear it there. And when we get an error, which was what just happened, we'll have two new lines. So we'll add an extra backtick n. And then we will throw in $error and select star. You need to select star when you do the $error. It seems to help. But there's many levels to it depending on the kind of exceptions that are thrown, from what I understand. Not the best understanding, but I know it can go pretty deep in there. So something to keep in mind if ever you're working with it. So we have that. Now if we rerun our code, we should get some more information as to what's going on. So let's check the output. Okay. All right. So that's what's going on. We got rid of the PID label because it wasn't getting populated, and we tried to add it. So it's a simple error, simple fix. We just need to find the line with it. Does it say here quickly? Yes. Oh, well, it's 107 in there, so. Uh, where is it? How come I don't see it? This dot controls dot add range. Let's find that. Where is this from? Oh, this is going to be in our panel class, I believe. Yes, there it is. We can squash that, save that, and I think we just debugged the issues we were having. So let's get another flight going here. And we'll just bring that a little more on the screen. Okay, so we have this going. We can just activate. Okay, well, this is going to be interesting. Let's see if we can get airborne. Yes. All right. Okay, so this is going. Let's get this code going. And let's see if we debugged our little issue. And we sure did. All right. There we go. We got our panels going. We got some live data coming in for the different values. All this being built dynamically. So this is where we left off last time. This is fantastic. Okay, so now we can actually start making progress. So let's go back to the panel. Let's re-enable the opacity because I know that that doesn't cause an issue. At the same time, we'll go back up and we'll set the spacecraft to velocity. So it only has the velocity values. So we'll just open that up. As you can see, it's just got the velocity values in its state and history. That means we're going to have to undo our flight and go back and switch over to the profile of the velocity only program for the orange black box. So we'll just go back into it. Let's edit the flight program. Right now we have the all, and we will load the program for velocity. That's right. So we'll load that one. There we go. Save to craft. Let's get it in the air. All right, so I'm kind of out of loop here. This is Nimashogi. Let me just pop up my chat a little here. I can't read it. Loop here. What is the PS script? Is it setting up an HTTP server that receives logs? Yeah, it's kind of like that. So I'll give you some details on it. All right. So I'll lower the music a bit. That's a good call. Thank you very much. And let me know if that's better. So what we have here basically is a game called SimpleRockets 2. And this game is a flight or rocket simulator. It allows you to build rockets or do orbital stuff. It has a whole simulated solar system in it. And you can build multi-stage rockets. You can automate them with Visi. It's really a fantastic game. And Visi is kind of like the programming language in the game. Now, there is a mod for the game which adds a part, and that part is the part we've been changing the program on, which is placed at the moment right here on the back of the craft. You can see it's running, but it's not quite activated at the moment. Now, this part simply sends telemetry of the craft over a UDP port to any potential receiver. The mod itself comes with a Python example script of how to receive those packets. However, that's basically just in Python. So I went ahead and I wrote an example script of how to do it in PowerShell, and I was able to access the data. And from that point, I started to build on that code to see what I could do with it. And I built a few different kind of models of dashboards for the game, that kind of thing. But the goal I'd like to get to is to make something usable for the community, for those that would like to have some kind of panels of information that could be dynamically used. So right now, we're just working on trying to get those dynamics into the panels, and we're able to do that now. We're getting the panels to kind of auto scale based on the content and that kind of thing. So we'll just go through here and we'll execute the code. Activate the logger, which is on an activation group. So we need to actually toggle this activation group for the data to be sent. Without it, the data won't be sent. And basically the code is structured in such a way that we're using run spaces to actually uh, execute everything. Uh, any particular reason I chose PS? Well, because it's probably what I know best. I work in a Microsoft environment on a daily basis, and I automate various workloads, and I use PowerShell a lot to do uh, that kind of work and administration. So it's something I'm used to. It's similar to C Sharp, but I think PowerShell is more accessible to people than something like C Sharp, and uh, I like seeing what I can do with PowerShell. I like trying to push it as far as possible. So because I have access to all the .NET and stuff, uh, I'm able to use like the Windows forms and that kind of stuff, which is exactly what we're doing here. So right now we've set things up so we only have one panel, just with a few configuration tweaks. We're going to run it and we're going to see what's going to happen. And that didn't work. All right. So, but the opacity did work, which kind of looks cool. Does it work over the game? Yeah, it does work over the game too. That's kind of neat. All right. But I don't want to have to deal with all these windows each time. So I really want to just get one window. So why is it doing that? Okay, so I need to go and look at some of my test code, which I worked on, which I believe is in here. Uh, yes. Okay, so there it is. And right above the while. So I will comment this bit out. So this is where we're just adding to our temporary hash table uh, until until we're at the end of the particular stream, at which point we just kind of do a sequential kind of write to the synchronized hash table, which in theory should be the least impactful when it comes to any kind of logical collisions that could happen when trying to access the data in that shared hash table that's getting spread across uh, many run spaces. And I'm not sure about this, but I would think that the more run spaces you have which share a synchronized hash table, uh, you might have more potential for issue, although synchronized hash tables are built for that. But I have encountered for the first time throughout the course of this project some kinds of errors which I wouldn't expect to see on something that was supposed to be thread safe and that kind of thing. So, yeah. Okay. So we really need to put this code in. So we commented out the default. Let's just mark it as default. Default. And now we'll throw in the code that we pulled out of my testing, which I did off stream a bit earlier. All right, so if first run, then innercraft.add, okay, first run equal false. Else we do what we were going to do initially, the default. Okay, that means that we need a first run variable. Now where did I put that in here? I put that at the top, right in the inside of the try. So that's pretty simple. Okay. Try. And I don't, I'm not quite sure about this, but I kind of feel more comfortable just doing this because of the function, but we'll see. Uh, yes. Okay, I think that's okay. So what is this going to do? This extra code, what this extra code is going to do is if it's the first time this function is being run, then on the inner craft object, which is basically the first parameter of this script, and that first parameter is the craft.state, which is a synchronized hash table. So the inner, where is it? There it is, the inner craft. We're going to add a key, exactly what we were going to do to the hash table. But in this case, we're going to actually go ahead and on the spacecraft object, I'm going to open another one I have here, classes, none. So you can see in this one, the hash tables for state and history are empty compared to the one for velocity and compared to the one that has everything. So you can see that it has some pretty interesting possibilities here. So the point being here is that we're going to go up, we're going to change our craft to none. Okay, so now we know that the state is going to be empty. It's still going to be a synchronized hash table. It's just not going to have any keys. So that's why we're going to put the first run variable up here, the Boolean first run. And then when we run the function, we're going to check it. And if it is the first time this function is being run, oh, wait a second. We need to set this to false. We need to set this to false. At the end. If $ first run $script first run equal $ false. Okay. Okay, I think that will be the right kind of exit out of there. That means that read while da, 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 da. So I'm assuming that's going to read one huge payload for the first time and populate the keys inside the state hash table. And let's see. So $craft. Yeah, it has something right now. So we'll just nuke it. Make sure it's completely gone. And let's try. Okay. So that's good. So at least now we have our, I have no idea how this looks on stream. The text, okay, the text is kind of readable. Okay, let me see. Yeah, it's not bad. Okay, okay, all right. Right, so that's really good. We have that working out. However, the data is not getting there. Now, why is the data not getting there? Is it because of the labels? Or is it because of the craft object? So let's check the craft object. Does the state have keys? It does, but they're not populated. So they're not populated. So let's close this down. Okay. And then what we're forgetting here is that for each key and time pattern, this should only be run else that's what we should be doing, I believe. So I think that might fix the problem. Let's give it a go. What? What's happening here? Something happened in our run space for the panel, I believe. So let's have a look at the run space ctrl dot RS out. What do we have? We only have the receiver. Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay, yes. So because we're using none, okay. So this is, so at this point, craft state keys. So we're getting the keys to really populate some stuff here ahead of time. And this needs to be done, I think, afterwards. So I think that will help. No, still. So this is tricky. We're trying to... What's going on here? List 0. It's not getting anything for the list. I'm going to put a breakpoint here. What's panel names? Panel names is empty. Craft state keys. Oh. Oh, wait a second. Craft state keys. Let's check what $craft is here. Craft state is empty here. Okay, why is craft state empty here? It should not be empty here because at this point the receiver has started. So we need to see the receiver's output. Receiver out dot outputs. Oh, what? rsctrl dot. Oh right, rs out dot receiver dot outputs. So what's happening here? Okay, exception calling. Whoa, what's going on here? Endpoint do bind. So it's a sockets issue, it seems. Why is all this read-only all of a sudden? Okay, that was strange. So there's the spacecraft none and the panel. Okay. And our main script. No, wasn't this one. Okay, so spacecraft none. All right, so we're going through there. However, what are we passing here? Inner craft, rs control, ret, and time to run. Equal 120, add argument 10. Okay, craft.state. We're passing the craft.state. That's a hinker. Okay, and then here, inner craft. First run. So we're gonna set that way at the top. Okay. Add. Okay, so we're adding that and prop val. Okay, that's good. Okay, we need to add some output here. Function read. Read function called with $data dot count bytes. Okay. Let's see. Reading stream of bytes. And let's see, what position will we be? While stream.position less than stream.length. So stream of bytes. And then what we'll do is we'll do $stream dot position $stream dot, what was it? Stream length. Length. And then we'll add a new line. Okay. All right. Okay. And then we'll actually put in some code here. let's see if we can do something. If script first run, then we'll just try and jam in some text. Let's see if that works. But we'll do a single quotes because those nested quotes might cause us issues. And we'll just say first run. Oops. There you go. Okay, so we added some logging there. Let's give it another go. Okay, so $rs out dot receiver dot output. Oh, okay. Oh, yes, we're back to the socket issues. Okay, so let's get out of here. End flight, undo, undo. We'll go to 2876. So let's do that. Does anyone have any questions? Again, I really want to make sure if anyone has any PowerShell issues, I want to make myself available to you. Let's see if we can tackle them. Try and break through any challenges you might have. That would be great. So yeah, please don't be shy. I'm happy to help. And there's plenty of viewers here with even more knowledge than me who I'm sure would be happy to chime in as well. So looking forward to that as well. I love all power sheeple. So if you're a power sheeple, I love you. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. We should put some output right at the start. So let's add some output here. Oh, not there. Start of try. Okay. And okay, that's good. All right, let's just save that, give it a go. Oh, we do have to change the ports. What was it? Do we change it? 2876. There we go. Got to change it inside SimpleRockets. Let's go ahead and do that. 2876. All right, we'll give that a go. All right, so time to give it a go. Let's give it a go. Oh, what's going on now? Okay, we might have got past the receiver issues. Let's double check our receiver output. Okay, All right, so our receiver is working. That's okay. Let's double check the receiver by looking at our craft state. Okay, so that's not working. Okay, so first run, we'll set it outside of the script here. And then we'll pass it as $first run equal $false. Okay, and then we can just, we'll actually just call it fr here. And then we'll just get rid of this. If fr, else. Okay. We don't even need, well, yeah, we do. We do need to add that. Okay, so now we need to know where we call this, the read. Where's the read? Okay, there's the read. If $first run, we'll call our read with, oh, we don't even need to do that. We could probably do it simpler with one line if we just do, this, if $first run, if first run. No, we should be clean about it. There we go. Else. Okay, so I think that will work. And then in here, we're going to have to update our references here to fr. So I don't think we need to put all this here. We'll save that. Okay, that's not so good. rsout.control, rsout.receiver.output. Okay, but the state of, sorry, the craft.state. Yeah, the craft state's no good. So let's go back to just the all. Stop goofing around with this. We will get rid of this stuff. We can leave the parameters because they don't really change anything if we just go back to default. There's spacecraft all, okay, and now we need to update the program, so we can just go back to updating the forms. I'll have to debug what's going on there. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. How's everyone doing? All right, let's go ahead, update the program. Wait a second. That's not the right thing. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so spacecraft all, load program, SR2, Save to craft. We're gonna actually change this to go to 2877 just to be safe. We'll update our script here. 2877, save. We got rid of that stuff. Temp hash. We need to re-add this to populate things. Okay. And I think that's going to be good. We'll save that. Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay. We'll activate this. We'll go. What's going on now? It's really not liking something. Let's see what's going on. rs out dot output receiver dot output. Yes. Okay. So what? Whoa. Okay. So it's actually start a try. Okay. Data. Whoa. Where? Oh. Okay. Okay. That is okay. I think. Can I do that? No, it's not gonna like that. I'll take this out. I think it doesn't like that I'm trying to called. I'll leave it like that. I won't reference the bytes there. I think that's what's causing some issues. We'll give it another go. There we go. Okay. However, we're not receiving data. So why aren't we receiving data now? So let's check the rs out dot receiver dot output. Oh, some more exceptions. So what's going on here now? Okay. So let's do our, well, that's already catch. Okay. 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 So let's go ahead and change port again. Why? Do I have any running processes? That could be the issue. Does anyone have any questions? Is anyone curious about our approach or what we're doing, or any recommendations? I'd love to hear. Let's save things, give a refresh to our ISE. Oh, yes, we do have some ISEs open. There we go. Some cleanup. Get that ISE back open. Let's get back on. There we go. All right. So do we still have the right port? Yes, we do. And this is going. Let's just get it in the air. Oh yeah, it's definitely logging. Okay, there we go. So that's going to generate some data now. That's activated. Now let's see what happens. Do we get something? No. What's going on? Why aren't we getting data? rsat dot receiver dot outputs. Still having issues binding to the. Oh, no. Okay, where else am I referencing byte in this code? Do I have a line number? No, in no file. Script block line 70. Okay. Okay, so line 70, I'm assuming on the receiver, so 70, that would be 116. No, I'm not touching the bytes anywhere here. I don't see anything touching the bytes here. So it can't be there. Can't convert. Where? I need more clues here. Cannot convert the case. Cannot convert the case. So what is going on? So let's try and get rid of the output we've added. That could be an issue there. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. So let's give that another go. Okay, still no data. What's our output now? Something different. Error while running the receiver. Start of try, error while running the receiver. Okay. Again, a socket issue. Okay. So let us get out of here. We'll have to change the port. All right, let's go ahead and change the port on this, update the script, get something clean. 78. I should probably be doing this a lot more gracefully. If someone has a suggestion on how to do that, please feel free. Get that going. And let's see. Thanks for hanging out in the chat, Orcahol. Lurks. Welcome back, Metin. Thanks for hanging out. It's Vodou. VNK, thanks for hanging out. Virgo Pros, welcome back. Yo, Orcahol. All right, so we've got that going. Let's just, there you go, generate data. Let's run this and hope it doesn't poop itself, but of course, definitely pooping itself. Why is it pooping itself? Receiver dot output. I can't quite what's going on here? This is not normal. I didn't change anything. That's so strange. Okay, I gotta check if I have, what? What is going on? So, first run, we'll take this out. That is something we added. We did add that. Well, that's not causing an issue. That looks all right. We will take this out. That could be questionable. Let's see. We'll have to update the port again. Jammed everything there. But we're going to start stripping anything that isn't temp hash. Temp hash is getting created? Yes, it is. All right. Add 4 key in temp hash. Inner craft key. That's fine. All of that is fine. Although this, I think, might need to be outside. Yes, that needs to be outside. That's probably why our data was messing up. Probably why. Okay, so we 2879. Let's go ahead, update the part. I think we'll be okay now. I think it was just mispositioned for each. We'll go ahead, give that a whirl. If you guys would like to be notified when I stream next time, because I don't always post the streams on Reddit or Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, so you know, I don't quite know where you're coming from directly, but if you'd like to be notified when I am streaming, please click the follow button on Twitch, because the majority of my streams, I basically only stream for my followers on Twitch. And it's only occasionally where I'll go and post certain episodes on Reddit. So best to follow if you like what you're watching and you like what you're seeing and you want to have a place where you can come and talk about PowerShell and even ask some questions or get some help. Please click the follow button. We'd love to have you here. So if you've missed any of the previous episodes, you can always go on YouTube. PowerShell Done Poorly. Simply search it up. The link is on the Twitch page as well. We have our previous episodes is archived in there, all 3 of them. And you can catch up with where we're at right now by watching those episodes. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. So let's see if we fixed things here. Hopefully we did. Yes, okay. All right. Okay. Phew. All right. There you go. The data stopped. That should be a clean exit now. All right. We've kind of been floundering around here trying to do some fancier stuff. That was a bad mistake. We're not going to do that again. We're going to stick with the all. We'll deal with the excess. Well, I do want to try getting velocity only. Let's just try that, because that would make our debugging moving forward much easier and much quicker. So a quick switch to velocity only would be ideal. Let's see. I do I have, let me see. I do want to just see if I can grab some code here from something else, because yeah, that's it. I do want to do this because that is kind of like a cleanup thing. Now, run spaces is where I throw receiver equal this, run space equal here. Okay, I think it's RSP. So let's put RSP there. And let me double check that by putting this here. We're just adding some code here to try and help us with some cleanup. I think, oh, no, it's not that. So I gotta go back and double check what run spaces, run spaces, run spaces. What is runs? Oh. Okay, results, and then results, we throw what? What do we do? Results, run spaces plus equal. Okay, and in our case, we're doing our begin invoke. How? How are we doing our begin invoke? Where is it? Oh, we're just doing it like that. Oh, we should probably add some structure to it. So we'll just do this. How are we doing it for the panels? Are we doing it just like that as well? Okay, the panels are going into that custom list. I see. Okay, so does that mean we're adding this to the list? No, that means we're not adding it to the list, and we should. So let's not add. What's this? For each. Okay. So here we're adding the panels and PS custom object head. PS. What's PS? What's PS? Where is PS? Where is PS? Okay, I see. Somehow. Oh, right. Okay, it's outside of the script. And it's referencing the script object, which is PS. Okay. All right. So we can add this to our receiver code. Outside of the run space. I don't know if list is going to be created here. We'll have to double check. No, it's created up here. Perfect. Okay. So, and PS is going to be the script object, which is RS receiver. So we can do RS receiver, and this is going to be for each of the run spaces. But in this case, we can just call the name or the ID receiver. You can hard code that. That's fine. Okay, so that means our receiver will get added to that list of objects, which is great. We can ignore that, I believe. It would be nice if we added the bit over here, the pipe. Now, I can't recall how that helps, but we'll just leave it at that for now. So, we wanted to switch to velocity, so let's try and get only velocity on the, on the orange black box. SR2 logger, we'll just take velocity, load, that's good. We'll save to craft, we'll take off, we'll go to the top, and we'll set this to velocity. We'll save, we'll turn on the logging, we'll run. What's going on? Did I change the port? I did change the port. Yeah, that's why I didn't add that, because it was gonna jam the, what's going on? It should be done by now. Why is it taking forever? Is it this? What is going on? rs out dot receiver dot output. Okay, so the receiver was working. Is the craft getting anything? Okay, so the craft is getting something. But then it's kind of just sat there. Oh, but it's also... What? Okay, no. $craft equal $no. And $rs out equal $no. Let's retry that. Let's see what's going on. $rs out. Okay. We're not even getting there. What's happening? What is going on here? What is going on here? Any hints? So let's add a breakpoint here. We'll see if we get here. I think. Let's run that. Whoa, we're not even getting there. Oh, that's right. Okay. 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 So that's because we have some run spaces still running. So it's okay. Okay. That makes sense. So let's inspect our RSP dot status. Wait a second. Run space pool. Oh, we can't use this. We're gonna have to use something different. What is going on? Rs dot. We don't have status. Is completed? What is going on? Okay, we're gonna have to rip this out. This is what's jamming things, and I thought this would help clean up, but clearly it's not. So let's give that a go. Let's step. Oh, let's stop debugger. Take off our breakpoint, and let's go. Okay. All right. So there we go. Okay. And now that's interesting that it spawned up all of the panels. That was unexpected. So does the chat have any questions? Would the chat like to know anything specific? Don't forget, we have a Discord server. You can always pop into the Discord server. The link is in the Twitch page. We'd love to have you there. Just pop on by. And yeah. Let's see here. All right, so we've got that. It shouldn't be spawning all the other. So that means craft is going to have a whole bunch of keys plus only velocity populated. So why is... I'm going to restart, actually, my ISE. I think this might be some of those weird class things I was experiencing. Sometimes when I would kind of load a class, it seems like I couldn't crush it on following executions. So if someone knows anything about that, I'd like I'd like to know if you have more information. Let's get our script back. Okay. Now, velocity. Okay. Oh, we're still dealing with the... Let's put a break here. Let's run. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, that's good. All right. So Shift F9. Okay, good. All right. Things are working. So that was it. It was just like, so it was weird because like I would run code to instantiate a class, well, to define a class, and then on subsequent kind of different, there must be some kind of clobber command or something. Oh, thank you so much for the host, Mr. Teabag, the wonderful Mr. Teabag. If any of you have an affinity for FPS shooters, I definitely recommend heading over to BDR Mr. Teabag's stream. Definitely at the pro level of skill when it comes to FPS. Currently on a binge of Escape from Tarkov, if that's your thing, but occasionally plays other FPSs such as Apex. So definitely head on over to his stream when he's streaming. Thank you very much for the host, Teabag. Much appreciated. Let's see. We'll take off that. We'll give it another go. Okay. So things are looking good for that. Let's get to actually customizing things now. So we're back into a state one. So I like the opacity. I think the opacity looks good. I would like to, the colors seem a bit off, I think. Not quite sure what you guys think, but it seems like the gray, I mean, it's pretty close. I'm looking at the pitch here, trying to get that to match. It seems like I could go a little darker with the gray. So I am going to take a screen cap of, hang on a sec. One thing I did want to do is see if there's any transparency or opacity to the pitch bar here. I'm going to try and mimic this kind of color scheme inside the pitch bar just to try and get it to blend well. So when people try to drag their panels around, it'll look nice. If you want to keep some of the built-in game controls, it'll merge well with them nicely. So let's see if we can go and kind of tweak those colors. So we'll just use paint and we'll crack paint in there and see if we can get some color codes. All right, so yeah, there's a bit of transparency. I can slightly see it. There's just a touch of transparency in the background. Can really see it. It's barely anything. So much less than what I'm currently doing with the panel. I would say, oh man, almost like 10 times even. So the opacity right now on the panel is set to 0.75. So I got to bring that down to like 0.975. So let's give that another try. We'll have to change that on the panel class right here. So 975. We'll give it a save. Oh, we might not get that update, but hopefully we will. And we'll give it another execution. All right, this color seems to look a little better. Let's see if the opacity kind of gels. Go in paint so we can zoom in. Okay, let's see. The opacity, yeah, definitely closer. Maybe a touch too much, so we'll bring it down just a notch, I think. Uh, yeah, let's bring it down just a notch. We'll probably put it at, I think 95 would still be a little too low, so let's go 94. Let's try 94 and give that another go. Just this kind of looks cool actually. It's got a bit of opacity, but not to the point where it really bothers you, but you can still see like through text comfortably. It's nice. Okay, so let's see how it gels from an opacity level with the built-in control in Paint. Zoom out, paste, zoom in. I think that's good. So now we just need to tweak the color to kind of match this color, I guess, the center color, or the background of this kind of little panel. So let's go. Let's just get a color picker, see what it is. We know it has a bit of opacity. So any of my graphics buddies, if you have any advice on how to scale a color selection that you know has a bit of opacity in it, that would be helpful. So I have the color picker. Let's look what it is. It's 12 RGB across the board. I'm assuming because it's opaque, well, it depends. I guess it's being influenced by the background color. So I suppose it's tough to really gauge. Uh, yeah, it's probably tough to gauge, but we'll try that. All right, so panel, RGB, back color. It is definitely too light right now. And 12 is probably too dark because of the opacity of that built-in panel. So we're probably gonna have to aim for something in between. So heck, I mean, let's try 20s. 20 might be good. It'll definitely be darker. And let's see. Definitely darker. How does it look next to this? Oh, it definitely looks a lot better. It's definitely merges. I'm trying to look at it from different angles on my screen just to get a better idea, but it's definitely pretty good. It's still a bit too bright though, so maybe we were close when it came to the 12s. Let's drop it down to 15. All right, and I think that's pretty darn close. I'm gonna take a little screen cap of that. We'll check it out in Paint. I think that's gonna be really acceptable. I mean, that's pretty darn close. Okay, so I like that. I'm happy with that. So now we need to kind of get this pitch color up here. Uh, let's get that color. That color is not going to have any transparency. I don't think it does at all. I mean, I'm looking at it now. I don't see any pass through of the white line of the runway behind it. So I'm going to sample that color. Let's go ahead and just take it. Okay. And edit colors. So this is 22 and 28, 28. That's good to know. And what we'll do is we'll create a new color in our panel. Um, so we're gonna have to double check those colors. I forgot them already. So we're gonna do panel top bar background color equal that. And what is it? We have to go back to paint because memory. 22, 28, 28. Okay, that's cool. All right. So let's go ahead and plug those in. 22, 22, 28, 28. I'm doubting myself again. Short-term memory, I have none. All right. Let's see. Okay, so that's going to be the background. So the goal here, we'll rerun the script just to get the example up. The goal here right now is for me to, we've pretty much matched the color of the built-in panels. And I do want to see something, so I'm going to disable the data logging. I'm going to fast forward it to daytime, and we'll see what it looks like in the daytime with the opacity. Okay. We're going to have to look at this. We might have to tweak the opacity. I think the color's good, but I don't know. Any graphics savvy people have some advice on opacity and how to deal with it? We have a white background and a gray background that kind of seem to be equal. So I might be able to sample a midpoint between those two colors and get a better idea. Let's see. Huh. Okay. I mean, that could work potentially, I suppose. It would be like this. And then edit colors. So, wow, that would be really bright. I'd rather play with the opacity, I think. Yeah. Okay, so let's just tweak the opacity. The opacity definitely has to come down. Let's just do 90. 9.9. That's fine. Give it a quick look. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay, so now this is what we're going to do. So the top label of our dynamic panels, in this case, the title, let's say, velocity, that's a label. So what we're going to do is we're going to maybe change the font of that label, make it bold, maybe make it a bit bigger, but we're going to make that label take up the full width of the panel, and we're going to set a background color on that label. Okay, so that background color, the goal is that it's going to match the background where it says pitch over here. So by doing that, hopefully we'll get something that even looks kind of more seamless, or at least kind of integrated with the SimpleRockets 2 kind of user interface. So I hope everyone's enjoying what you're seeing so far. I have a lot of fun doing this stuff. If you have any PowerShell questions, again, feel free to ask them. I love helping people, so if I can help you, I'll definitely do my best to help you. Yeah, let's have a quick look, see who's joined us in the chat. Lurks, thanks for coming by. And yeah, everyone else is still around in the chat. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. And let's have a look here. Okay, yeah. And once again, the Discord server is available. You can always come there if you want to post long code or anything like that. Of course, Discord supports code marking, that kind of thing. So we've been going close to 2 hours. I'm totally down for continuing. I'm excited to start putting in some more customizations here. I think we'll take a little break, a little 5-minute break, and yeah, we'll be back and we'll keep going with the customizations. Probably put in some I'd like to actually start working on the docking stuff as well. So the customizations we have left to do for the title, that kind of thing, are going to be pretty quick and simple, maybe about 15 minutes. And then we'll have maybe 45 minutes or more, if I can tough it, of docking and seeing if we can code some simple but effective docking code to allow our different panels to talk to each other in terms of knowing where all their positions are and being able to kind of snap to each other. That should make the interface nice and usable for people who want to use it as an overlay on top of SimpleRockets 2 as a way to complement it. So we'll take a little break. Thanks for sticking around. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking around, guys. All right, so now let's get back to customizing our panels. So first task, let's go ahead and customize that title that we have. Like, for example, where it says velocity right now in our panel. We'll go ahead and customize that. Now, if we're going to be customizing that label we got to find where it's getting added. And that label is the title. So we want this height. I guess we'll leave it at 30, but its position, we're going to have to set its X to 0 because we want it right up on that X side. And we're going to have to also bring it up by 10 because we want to take up that whole top as well. So we'll set that to 0. And just to kind of keep things in line, we'll measure it with a screenshot after, but we'll just try and keep keep the length, the dimensions of everything the same by adding 10 to the height of it. We'll also need to set the background color. Now, I may have set that in the wrong file. We'll have to double check. No, I didn't. Okay, it's right here. This should be interesting. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's right. I have to reference this. All right. I think we're good. We'll close that. We'll give it a run. Okay, so we didn't get the length. So we definitely have to dynamically calculate the length. Let's just bring SimpleRockets up here. See how it looks up against that. I just want to see what the colors look like. See if we're getting it close at least. Let's go ahead and just cut out that bit. What does that look like? Okay, it definitely needs to be a bit darker. We'll take it down a notch, but it also needs to be about half the height. So we'll have to do that as well. So that's not a big deal. Easy. How much darker? I would say, I don't know, from black. That's not many shades. That's maybe a few shades. So we won't save that. We will change the color now on the panel. The background color of that top label needs to go darker, and darker with RGB is lower. So let's say 10%. So we can go 2 here, but 3 here. I think that should be a nice adjustment. We also need to adjust the width. So let's go and adjust the width on that title. Width. So the width should be the width of this. And the width of this is where? Where's the width of this? Well, I guess we can try and set it dynamically. This dot width, I guess. Let's try that out. Oh, and we have to modify the height, so it's 20. Save that as well. Those should be adjustments that we wanted. Let's have a look. Oh, right. We're going to have to add that event code as well. Okay. So this is looking much better. Let's just get it lined up, and we'll be able to adjust the pixels much more precisely. Let's go ahead and crop out what we need. See what we're doing. Okay. Oh, wow. I lined that up pixel perfect. Okay. So I think that's about 2 pixels we're missing here. Yeah, 2 pixels. Okay, so it's 18. 18 is the height we need for that top bar. It's still a bit too light. We have to bring it down a bit. Okay. So let's go ahead and close that. We'll go back to our panel. Let's bring it down by 20%. So this one by 4 and this one by 5. Save that. Okay, and we had to bring this down by 2 pixels in height to match the height of the game. I guess that's UI dependent. Oof. I forgot about that. My UI is set to something special. So I guess we'll live with that. And that'll be something we'll have to adjust in the future, but I'm going to live with it as is. So give it one more quick test. Oh, wrong file. There you go. I think I'm satisfied with that. You know, it can even go a bit darker. So I'll just tweak it and I'll be happy with that. Okay. So right there. So I don't know. 4 of 16 is a quarter. So we'll put this at 12 and these at 15. Okay, so that's done. Now we need to center our text on that label. So how can we do that? Off the top of my head, I don't quite know, but let's see if we can figure it out. Text align equal. Okay, and text align. I don't mind opening up the docs for this. We can go ahead and check what the text align property label.text align. Let's see what that property says. All right, label text align property. One of the content alignment values. The default is top left. Okay, content alignment enum. How can we use this? Examples. Okay, content alignment dot bottom right. So chances are, now this is in system drawing. Okay, so in theory, what we should be able to do is system.drawing.content alignment, and then middle center. There you go. Perfect. Huh, that was easy. Okay. Now let's also add some bold to the font, I imagine. That isn't terribly difficult, but I think we do need to construct a font object to do that. Let's see what we can. And I think it's an overload of the text, but let's have a look. Font. Oh, okay. No. For anyone joining, if you have any questions, please feel free. I'd love to answer any questions if you have any about what we're doing right now, which is building kind of custom GUI for SimpleRockets 2, leveraging the output from the SR2 logger mod. But if you have other questions that are unrelated, with PowerShell, be it Active Directory, System Center, any of those kinds of things, please feel free to ask. It would be a pleasure to try and help you out. So that's what I do in my day job, that kind of stuff. But let's try and have some fun with PowerShell and doing niftier stuff with it. Okay, so font. Let's see if we can find some more info on how to set the font. So label.font. Let's go to, okay. I think it's system.windows.forms.label.font. Okay, control.font. There you go. All right, so control.font. How do we do this? My font dialog. Well, what's this? That doesn't help. Okay, here, new font. My control.font, font.style. Okay, so there's a font object that we have to construct, which is right there. Let's see if we can figure out how to do this from here. Woof. Okay, that's a lot of code for a font. There's got to be. Okay, there you go. So font family initialize using the font special. Okay, that's good. Font style. This is the kind of constructor we want. So let's see. There we go. That's pretty much what we're looking for. So equal. Let's just paste what we copied there. Well, fonts are what? We need to enum them, I think. think there might, let's see if we can kind of reference them. No, I gotta find some example. I remember this was like a 2 or 3 liner in PowerShell. This wasn't that obvious. So font, PowerShell, form, label. Do you know how to add a bold? There you go. That's exactly what we're looking for. Font equals system.drawing.font. Yeah, that was kind of weird. I remembered it being something like that. Okay. So that's kind of what we're looking for. So I don't know what the current font is. So we will just get that. I'm guessing its name and bold. I'm happy with that. Okay, so we can get rid of this. That should be good. And we'll give it a go. Does it exceed the limits of the different coloring? That's the question. And I can't even actually tell the different coloring at this point. I don't know if you guys can see it. Stuff. Oh yeah, I can see it, I think. Yeah, it's there. Definitely needs to be more pronounced. Hmm. And we don't need that big of a font either. So let's go ahead and just tweak that. Where is it? There it is. We'll bring that down to, let's say, 9. Bold is okay. Text align is okay. The background kind of looked weird. So let's just bump this back up. The opacity, I'm going to bump that back up. We'll just save that, give it a go. Okay, I can definitely see a difference when I'm looking over the white here, which means it's subtle, which is good. Okay. I mean, I like that. So I think the font can go down just maybe a touch more. So we'll just kill that, put the font down just a touch in the panel for the title label right here. I think 8 will be fine. And yeah, so that color, that stuff is good. So, all right, we'll leave that as is. I'm good with that. Next question would be, do we work on docking code or do we work on finishing the auto sizing of our form with the different data types? Because as you might be able to see at this point, let's give it a quick execution again. So angular velocity is actually a vector, and there's 3 values. That'll be an array of 3 values, and we're going to have to dynamically size the form to accommodate those additional values. So that's going to be a bit tricky. And I have to think about how we're going to do that. Now we can do that an easy and flat way. And I think that's the approach we're going to do, which would be only accommodate vectors. So if we see that its count is greater than 1, then we will kind of assume that it's a vector and put in 3 labels. So one thing I am noticing from the way it currently looks, oh, we do have to add our code, right? So when I'm moving this window around, I'm actually having to click where there's no label. Because if I click the label, then the code to move the panel around does not get executed because that code is over here. So if we look at it, it's all based upon the mouse being kind of down and being moved and that form of thing. So that is when it is clicked on the actual form. So anytime I'm clicking a label, basically it's not actually clicking the form, so it's not allowing me to drag. So one thing I could do, which would be simpler, is I could actually just add this code to the title bar. So where we have that title bit, that would make more sense because we have the title bar going across the top. So I don't know what the chat thinks about that, but please chime in if you have some opinions. It would be interesting to see what we can do. And I think that limits the scope of it nicely. So would it would kind of make sense. So let's see. We're going to need an add mouse down. Let's see if we can easily just construct the events here. We're going to have to add an add mouse move. All right, so now we just gotta go ahead and add in the events for the title label. So when it's clicked, it'll act the same as the form. So we gotta kind of copy this code. Now, anytime you add an event, if you put in this at the top, then you can refer to the object that's triggering the event by the sender variable. Otherwise, you can still refer to it, but if you don't have this line as the first line inside your event, then you have to refer to the object that is calling the event, with the $this variable. So that I learned recently. So, but we're going to use the param. I like that better. It just looks better. And E are the arguments of the particular event. So, for example, if we went and looked at the mouse down event, let's see if we can get the .NET documentation, control.mouse down event. So if we look here, let's see. Do we have any remarks? Mouse down. I think the event arguments for mouse down. Does it say it here? No, it doesn't say it here, but I believe the mouse down event arguments are basically a point as to where the mouse was pressed down. So if you were wondering, that's the mouse down event arguments. So we got to add this param statement to each of the events. Okay. And now we'll go back and check. Let's see. We'll just copy the code so we can kind of go through it and make sure that's mouse down. Yeah, that's mouse down. And then mouse up. And then, wait a second. I didn't put the right spot. No, I did not. So that needs to go in mouse up. And then mouse move gets this. All right. How's everyone doing out there? Okay. So we have this. Now we have to tweak the senders here because we got to refer to the parent. So how can we refer to the parent? PowerShell. I'm not quite sure how we can interface with the sender object, but does sender have a parent property? Parent. Let's see. Control.parent property. Okay. A control that represents the parent. Oh, that's simple. That's so simple. Okay, so parent dot mdown dot parent gosh darn it. There we go. So this here we're gonna have to adjust, I have a feeling. Because they're not gonna be clicking on they're not gonna be clicking on the perfect 0, 0 of the location of the form. There's gonna be an offset from where they click to where the 0, 0 is of the form location. Its position on the screen. So that's something we're going to have to do some work on. To do offset for mouse click position versus form 0 points. All right, so we have a little note there for that. That is good. Now it should still work with that. It's just it'll be funky. It'll be funky as crap. Let's see. Parent. Damn, that's a complicated way to write code that says hello world. Well, hello world. Yeah, I guess so. Definitely complicated way to say hello world. Although I think we're saying a little more than hello world. Thanks for coming by, Perry. If you like PowerShell, want to come hang out at times, please click the follow button. We'd love to have you. All right, so we got that, the parent. So we can keep referring to the parent, I think. I think that's a safe bet. All right, got a C on my discrete mathematics course. Oof, let's see what's going on in the chat here. Some discussions. All right, what's going on? Well, that doesn't help. Okay, I can do it with the code because. Ah, Perry, I'm sure you're not a dumbass. This is done quite poorly, so I'm watching this crime because I couldn't internally transfer into CS. Got a C on my discrete mathematics course. Well, let me tell you something, Perry. I dropped out of college, you could call it, because I was in social sciences and I didn't go into computer sciences. So I've never actually taken any form of formal schooling in computer science, and I would actually say that the better way to learn is to find something in computer sciences that you're passionate about, get involved with it, you know, use your interest in it to learn about it, and you'll be on the right path. You shouldn't have to go to school to do something you love. That should come naturally. So stick with it. Don't be don't be dissuaded because some other people who don't understand you decided to not not get you into a program. So yeah, don't let that get you down. So we've got most of our modifications here done to add the parent to the sender references. We still have a few more to do. Thank you so much for the follow, Perry. I appreciate it. Keep coming around. And well, if you started with C++, I'm not quite sure why you're crying over C sharp. You'll have to, oh, thank you for the subscription, Perry. Wow. You're actually my first subscription. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to put up some kind of notification board here for Perry because that's fantastic. You're the first subscription. Thank you so much, Perry. I really appreciate it. You know what? I never really did any C++, but I can show you some C++. Actually, I won't show you now, but uh, I I did some pretty decent C++ in my first effort, writing some cryptography related stuff on OpenBSD, and so you know, as long as you have the concepts, you can figure out the syntax. There's no stress. So let's finish updating these senders so they point to the parent. I'm gonna copy paste because I am getting tired of typing out parent. I have enough parent in my life already. I suppose you could call that a dad joke. For the okay, should be wearing my glasses for this. I promise, Perry, next stream I will be getting a sub announcement and list up, and you will definitely be on there. And as first sub, I will make sure your name will be held high with much respect for many weeks to come. Oh boy. Okay. So, I mean, I kind of plugged in all this code. I know that there's some modifications to be done. There's probably a few modifications that need to be done below. Orcahol, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a good night. Let's see. I guess we could give this a whirl now. We'll just save the class, and then we'll run our main script. Now, I'll click in the main form. That's expected. And let's see. I'm clicking in the label now, and it's working perfectly. Oh, that is fantastic. Oh, how fantastic is that? Okay. We don't have to do any offsets or anything. That means that we should be able to add the same code to all the other labels and get full clickable movement on the entire window. So I think we should do that right away. Because see, if I click on acceleration now, or any of these words, I can't move the window. And that kind of craps me, to be honest. So
now we have that functionality when we click on velocity, which is fantastic. So I really want to move that to the other labels as well, because that's kind of important, I think. So let's see. Let's see if we can just kind of streamline this, since we're gonna be kind of dynamically. Oh, let's keep that note, and we'll just wrap it all in here. I'm pretty happy about that. We can throw this on all the other labels as we loop through creating them, and kind of really tie together the control of the form as it's displayed on the screen. Does anyone have any questions about what we're doing here? I'd be happy to answer them. So we can nuke this to do. We do not have to do that, clearly. So that's that. I won't add this to all these labels. These are those debug labels that contain the position on the screen as well as the width and the height of the controls. So I don't need to really put that on them. Those are those small numbers on the left side of the panels. Those are really just debug things. Those are gonna get pulled out. Thank you so much for the follow, Jagal out, or Jagalot. Sorry if I'm not saying it right. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Okay, right. We have to add those events now. So, okay. So this is all the events that we need to add as we programmatically add the labels. And we programmatically add the labels inside the run space for the panel. So where are the labels? There are the labels. So we'll do temp label. We'll have to do them kind of. And something that Michael showed me, I think it was PowerShell Michael, Shift Tab and Tab like this. Thank you so much, Michael, if you're watching. Don't know if you're watching, but I hope you are. And let's see here. Okay, we're doing some good progress. Let's see if we can get this added to the temp label. Should be quite trivial. I don't think we're referencing anything special in here. It's all sender stuff. And yeah, all of this stuff is it's fantastic. I think this is fantastic. Okay. All right. So we can copy this sucker and we'll go ahead and add it to LBL2, which is the value label that we're going through and kind of popping. Copy over the variable name. And literally, I think that's all we need to do. Let's save this sucker and this sucker. And let's go ahead and give it a go. Now, test the main form. That works as expected. Test the title label. We can click on it and move it. That works really well. And, oh, fantastic. Ah, yes. Full clickable movability now on the panel. That's going to make it much more usable for people. It would be really frustrating if they clicked on a part of it and it just wouldn't move. But as you can recall, we did not put the code on these labels. So when I click these labels, it's not letting me drag and move it. So I know that this is a feature that people with forms or working with forms like to have. So you can kind of look at this code right here if you want to screen cap or clip it. I mean, there's a lot of out here, but the real gist of it is in this screen cap here. If you want to clip it, it's definitely useful. I found it useful for sure as I was building these panels. Great. So we have full clickability now on the panels. That was much easier than I anticipated. We kind of got the title bar sorted out. I think we're going to try and tackle, yeah, I think we're going to try and tackle some docking before we end the stream today. So just a quick question now. Does anyone have any ideas or suggestions on how we might potentially be able to dock these windows together? So automatically move them. What does docking mean? Docking means automatically position a window when it's within some kind of arbitrary threshold of a position. So that's what we're talking about here when it comes to docking. So how can we dock? Let us first set up a bit of a situation that will be easier for us to actually go and do some docking. Yeah. So what we'll do is we're going to create a new craft craft property selection. We'll say velocity, altitude, and performance. For those who may be listening to the music, if you're wondering, this is Damu the Fudge Monk, who is absolutely fantastic. Uh, Completely fantastic artist, hip hop producer. Just creates all kinds of beautiful productions, loops old funk and soul. Really does a great job. So definitely check him out. He even has some free albums out there. Generous with his time and his art. So Damu the Fudge Monk, highly recommended. All right, so we got to set up our test environment here. So velocity, altitude, performance. Okay, that's simple enough. We just need to create that file now. So let's go and create that file. PS panels, classes. We'll copy all from spacecraft. We'll rename it. There we go. We'll edit it. And we will take off everything we don't need. So what did we keep again? This is velocity, altitude, performance. Okay, so there you go. Altitude. Uh, there's performance. And velocity. So we'll have 3 panels, right? Let's clean up the history as well, even though it has no impact. Altitude, performance, and velocity. Okay. Save that. We're good there. We got this selected. Let's just run it. Okay, we only got velocity. Okay, again, that kind of relates back to that class kind of issue we were having, where it might not pick up some of the other changes. So let us see. Let's see. Let's try and spacecraft. What are our meth? Blah. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I see. I don't know how. I'm just gonna save. We will close this, reopen. If anyone knows how to deal with that, I would love to know how to deal with that. Please, please share your knowledge. Let's go back, get our code. All right, that's good. Get our classes open. Okay. There we go. That's what's expected. All right. So we have a nice test case up now. Not too many panels. They look pretty damn good. I think we can raise some of the margins to sort the specs out, but that's okay. we've done enough formatting stuff today. They definitely look nicer. Probably need a bit of tweaking, but I'll get a bit of help from the legendary Orcahol, who is a supreme graphics designer and motion artist, video effects artist. So please check out the videos that we'll be producing in the near term for future streams, which will include some logos and whatnot. That will be definitely coming from somewhere in his direction. So we've got this test case good now. We have what we need to try and do some basic things. Now, because we're going to be doing docking, it's important for us to have access to these numbers on the debug side. And you can see that the numbers on the debug side, for the smaller windows, it's no good. So we do need to do a bit of reorganization of those specific labels. And those specific labels are in the panel class where we were before and just after the title bit. So it's these 4 labels. So I think we can move these in to like a margin of 2 on the left. They can be nice and tight. And they definitely need to be higher up. We know that their height can be definitely lower. We will pull them up. What did we set the height to the title? The title height is 18. So we know that if its location here, we'll just add 2 to it. So the location will be 20. And its height, it's 18. So we will just increment things by 20. I think that'll crunch things down nicely. We'll have to readjust the heights for the other ones. So 80. All right. I think that looks good. Much better. Dang. Dang you, altitude. You're too small. All right. Okay. So I think I have an idea, I suppose. I could look at the collection of controls on the form, but I'm not going to adjust for something like that. This is like debug stuff. I shouldn't have to do dynamic. So I'm just going to do some manual adjustments. It's really important that we see those numbers. So I'm going to crunch them down a bit. We're going to kill the spacing on them. So location 18 plus 16, that's 34, and then 50, and then 66. All right, and then we can update the 16 size or height on the other 3. Hopefully that will be enough to crunch them down so we can actually get some, get some visibility. Yes, all right, that's good enough for me. I'm happy with that. We can work with that. All right, so now we have basically what we need to really start working on some docking stuff. So what do we have already in place to help us with the docking? Okay, well, we do have something. And we have rsdoc. And rsdoc is a synchronized hash table, just like the hash tables we're using to pass data from the receiver run space to all the panel run spaces. And what we want to use the rsdoc hash table for is to store data of the positions and maybe more specifically the edges of the other panels. So we want to store the top, bottom, left, and right edges of the panels in some kind of easy to use data structure so that when we're moving a panel,
inside the panel's move event, right here, we'll be able to look up to see if its current position is within an arbitrary amount of pixels of some kind of border, right? So we'll have to do some code for that. I'm not entirely sure if we'll take all of that on tonight. We can definitely start working on that. I don't know if we'll get all that successful. Maybe what we can do just to prototype it is we can focus on docking on a specific side. That might actually be achievable tonight. So we have the RS dock, I think it was. Where is it? Right, RS dock, run space dock. Okay, so we have RS dock, and we can basically now populate it with things. Now, we got to think about what things we're going to populate it with. So, let's take a couple of minutes here. Think about it. We have a hash table we can throw keys into. The keys can be whatever we want. And those keys can be whatever we want. They can be an array of values. So when we're moving a window, we care about the right side being able to match up with the left side of another window. In the case of all these panels, one of the restrictions I'm putting in place is that the panel width is going to be the same for all panels. So that's going to make things a little easier when it comes to docking top bottom. We can always dock center top bottom. So it's probably ideal if, for the time being, we focus on docking just top bottom. Ivana Penetratsu, thank you so much for following. I really appreciate that. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Please feel free to pop into the chat. Love to hear from you. So, okay, so I think it's a good idea for us to focus on top and bottom docking. That is probably going to be pretty easy to do because the widths are always going to be the same. Yeah. All right. So, RS dock. RS dock. Are we already passing it? We're not passing it to the receiver run space because the receiver doesn't have a panel. Are we passing it to our panel run spaces? We are, and it's called CTRL-DK. And we're already sending data to it. So let's see if we actually have some data in there. Do a quick inspection. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Matthew McConaughey just visited the stream. Um, let's see here. Okay, so the altitude, which is here. Let's see if it changed. Yeah, it did change. I love it. Okay. All right. So its left edge is at 1045. That makes sense. Its bottom is at 197, which makes sense because its Y is 117 and its height is 80. So perfect. Its top, okay, that's easy. Its right is 1345. So we got 1045 here. That means 300. Yeah, all right. So we basically have an RS dock synchronized hash table automatically maintained currently that has a key for each panel, and inside each key for each panel we have, I think, another hash table. Yes, another hash table that, oh, is PowerShell the favorite language of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? No, I would say back in 1987, 1988, the preferred programming language. Wow. 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 Huh. That's a good question. It's a bit before my time. I wouldn't know what it was probably C back then. Nice. Texan? Am I Texan? I sound Texan? Do you think I'm Texan, Ivana? I'm not so sure I sound like a Texan, but I do have to take a quick bio break. So this non-Texan that may sound like a Texan will be back very quickly, and we'll get started on docking code for our top and bottom of the panels. Stick around. Thanks for sticking around, guys. All right, let's get back into it. Ivana, I created an account just to follow this. Noob to the shell and like using it for fun like this and being able to ask questions is dope. I'm glad you think so. I think it's pretty cool to interact with people and help them out. I really like sharing my knowledge with PowerShell. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And there's no question that's stupid or anything like that. All right. So yeah, and I too like using it for kind of off-center things. I think PowerShell is very capable, and it just takes some people to do some interesting stuff. And if you're using it for more infrastructure-related things in the cloud, like Azure, that kind of thing, that's one thing. But I think it can be useful as a programming language for, just regular people because it's completely available to you already in Windows, as you and most of the viewers already know. So, thinking about this, I think this is going to be pretty easy to set up some docking stuff here. So what's the first thing we need to determine? We need to determine some kind of threshold in terms of the amount of pixels we're going to be trying to detect another edge. So Uh, I'm guessing something like 20 to 10 pixels, somewhere in that range. Do we have any suggestions out there? Maybe 15? Spot in the middle? That'll probably work. All right. So the docking is going to have to be where? The docking, we're not passing any of that logic to the panel class. So it'll have to be added at the moment after the fact inside the existing move actions, which we add. Okay, so that means that we need to add a parameter, or not a parameter, but at least some kind of variable in the loop that spawns out all the panels for some kind of docking width. Um, so dock margin equal 15, right? So we have our dock margin. So next, we're moving something, and every time it's moving, which you can look at this example here, as I'm just like slowly moving every pixel it moves, those fields are updating. So I know I can rely on the event to constantly be checking the current position. So inside here, I need to check the CTRL decay, I believe. I think that's what it was called. Yes, that's right. Okay. Dock. Let's see. Dock detection. Let's maybe just do a detection kind of thing here. So if, okay, we need to compare each of the sides of the current panel. So cur left equal $. Wait a second, we're not on the right spot here. This is on the labels. The move code is on the form, I think. Huh. So that means that we need to, what does that mean? That means that we need to, that means that we need to pass the data of the synchronized hash table, which controls the docking data, to the panel class. So what can we do? What can we do? Any suggestions? I'm sure we've got some pros out there. Any suggestions on how we're going to get the synchronized hash table data? Because right now it's not available to the actual panel class, which means we would have to add events inside the run space for the panel, kind of outside of the class, to bind it. Hard work 407. Thank you so much for the follow. Thanks for coming by and watching the stream. I totally appreciate it. Welcome. Do you have any suggestions, Hardwork? How are we going to do this? How are we going to pass the docking data, or the data that we need for docking?
I suppose we could do it outside of the panel. I suppose we could do it, and we can bind. So yeah, okay. So yeah, so we can add onto. We already have an add-on onto the move of the panel outside of the panel class, which is what is populating that craft DK. Sorry, that control DK run space. So if we look at the external object for that, the main object, not the reference, and we check velocity. Oh, not RS out. Sorry about that. RS doc dot velocity. Yeah, so we have those values. So how are we going to leverage that effectively? We have to pass the whole. Okay, but that means we have access to it in that add move. And we don't have to do anything special to reference it as passing it by a param because the control decay is already working. Okay, so I think I know what we need to do here. We need to go and get all the keys of CTRDK, which is the docking, what we see here. We need to get all the keys, which will be all of the active panels, right? So keys, and we need to get the current, because we don't want to dock to ourselves. We can't dock to the current panel. Where is not equal to $i, as we see above. $i.name. Okay, so other panel keys equal. All right. So we have the other panels now. So what do we want to do? So now we need to check. I don't even, let's just focus top bottom. So other panel keys are that. For each PNL key in $other panel keys, if other panel keys, sorry, that's not the hash table. So if ctrldk dot PNL key dot, so what are we checking now? So we're looking at the other panels, and we want to see if the left, if the left, let's say, minus the current right of the current panel. So temp panel, or no, it's the sender. Sender dot location dot x, right? No, we're looking at the left side, so we want the x plus width. So $sender dot width. And we need to absolute that. Math abs, remove the negative. So if less than $ doc margin, less than or equal to. So this is if other panels left is within doc margin of this panel's right. Correct? Is that correct, people? Does that sound right? No pun intended. So we won't do anything here. What we'll do is we'll just do out rs dot $i dot name dot output equal plus found doc opportunity with panel $PNL key. I think. Yeah, I think that'll. Oh, we gotta add a new line. Okay. All right, so that's the left. Let's duplicate that for the right. So the right would be here, right? And now we need to, the right is going to dock with the left of the current window. So we got to take off the width. Found dock opportunity with right side of, with left side of. Ooh, wait a sec. Left. We mixed that up. I mixed that up. Left. Right. All right. Does anyone have any questions, by the way? Be happy to answer them. So I think we have some detection here for the left and right docking. Let's try and copy that and do top and bottom now. So PNL key top, my sender dot location. So if the other panel's top, that we're looking at the bottom of ours, of the current form. So that'll be y plus $sender dot height. I think that's good. So found dock opportunity with top side of PNL. Okay. And now we just need to do a bottom. And then in theory, we'll have docking possibility output for every single one of the panels, which should be pretty interesting. So let's do bottom now. Bottom. And the bottom is going to dock with the top. So we can just kill the height out of this part. And we just need to update this to bottom. I really think that'll be nice. I think let's save this. Give it a go. Oh, I'm already running it. Silly me. Okay, so let me put it close to there. That's for sure gonna generate something. So if we check now the rs doc dot altitude, okay, no, we have to check the rs out dot altitude dot output. Okay, so with right side of panel velocity. Okay, so it's definitely working, although I see the issue here. So when we're moving the form, we're seeing this left side lines up with the right side in terms of the x coordinate, but we're not checking to see if, for example, the top of the form is within the margin as well, or if the form is at all touching. So I assume we have to check to see if the form we're moving, its height, the range of its height, falls anywhere within the range of the height of the form that we found a potential snap to on the left side. So that's interesting. That's an interesting challenge here. All right. Well, all right. Let's just kill this. I want to see some telemetry in action. So let's just see if, yes, okay, telemetry is still going. So I'm going to think about this for a few minutes because this is an interesting problem. It seems like we could go a few levels deep here. I think definitely the good approach is going to be to calculate uh, to see if any of the height overlaps. The height has to overlap at least 1 pixel for a side to snap, and vice versa in the other axis. Okay, I think that's basically the general idea here. I'm going to set this plane to take off. I just want to get some data going. Wow, that was a bit fast. Let's try that again. How's everyone going? Synaptic, thanks for hanging out in the chat. Rubber Slayer, you as well. Easiest Panda, thanks for stopping by the chat. And Crazy Cynical, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, so let us just get some demo of our progress for today going. All right, that looks okay. Let's get that out, lower the throttle. We can actually bring this up a bit. Because there are mountains in the distance we gotta clear. Okay, so there we go. Let's get that data login going. And we'll just test our panels here. Yes, we're getting data, but we're not getting performance data. Okay, interesting.
Now, why are we not getting other data? Okay, well, we'll have to debug that. But docking. Okay, so we need to add that. There we go. There's our stuff. So we have our if here. I don't know what the text is like. Oh yeah, the text isn't so great. Let's see. Quality. Okay, on high quality, it's pretty good. We'll stick with that, I think. Okay, so we have the calculations here to at least detect the plane margins on each of the sides. Now we need to add a bit of detection to make sure that the other axis is at least overlapping. So what's this? This is if other panels left is within dock margin of this panel's right. But we need to add another if. If, then we'll say that we found an opportunity. And what's this extra if? This extra if should be width of both panels should overlap. Okay, so the width should overlap. So let's see. So if this was, we need to add with both of the panels should overlap. Okay, so the current panel is going to be sender. So sender, okay, no. So $sender dot location dot x. So if other panels left is within dock margin of this panel's right, good. But we need to make sure that in this case, left and right, we need to make sure that their height. So the sender.location.y and the sender.location.y plus sender.height, okay, are going to give us the low and high. So cur panel low y, $cur panel high y equal. Okay, so we have the current panel. All right, so current panel low, okay, perfect. Current panel high, okay. So we currently have the numbers for the current panel. We need to get the same numbers for the potential panel. Potential panel equal, potential panel low y equal, and high y. Hi, Y. Whoever's coming in, thank you so much for joining the stream. Welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy it. We're just doing some PowerShell with some custom panels here to interface with the telemetry data that's coming out of SimpleRockets 2. We have a little flight here just flying around, generating some data, which we're not really consuming at the moment because what we're doing right at this moment is actually trying to put in some docking code so that our panels can kind of snap together. So I hope you're enjoying it. We'll keep going for a little while longer, I think. And yeah, we'll see how far we can get for this evening. But so far, I think we've done some great progress today. Things are coming together really nicely. And yeah, I think we've got another episode or two of some PowerShell left. And then we'll probably be able to start getting into the Visi side of things and doing a few nifty things in Visi to help pipe things together. And hopefully, the end result is going to be that we can generate custom panels from completely within the Visi side of SimpleRockets 2. So that's the end goal. Hope we can get there. Looks like we might be able to. So the potential panel low Y is going to be ctrldk.pnl key dot. We need to. So the low Y is going to be the top, and the high Y is going to be the top, or actually it's going to be the bottom. Now, how can we, what's an effective way to compare two ranges and see if they overlap? That's an interesting question. Does anyone have a good math answer for that? That's definitely a math question. How can we compare two ranges and see if they overlap? I suppose we could do this the PowerShell way. So, okay. Hmm. Hmm. Trying to think of the right way to do this. What's the right way to do this? You have two ranges. Could be like 1 to 10 and 5 to 15. What would be an effective way to see if you have overlaps between them? I mean, I know the PowerShell way. The PowerShell way would basically be to, uh, hmm, I could create custom arrays that just contain all the numbers in the ranges and then do a compare object between the two arrays and exclude different and include, and basically only go for the similars and see a count on that. And then that should give me an idea if they overlap or not. So I think I might do that. So, okay, so cur panel cur panel pixels y cur panel y pixels equal. What's this going to be? This is going to be $cur panel low y dot cur panel high y. And then for each underscore that. I'm guessing that'll work. Let's do a little test of this. So let's say we test this in the console. Let's do 1.10. And then for each of those, we're just going to output it. Let's see what it does. Yeah, that's what's expected. But if we assign it to something, well, what is something? Is something an array? Yes, perfect. Okay. So we'll get an array of all the pixels, like in this case, if we do $something, right? So that's for the current panel Y pixels. And then we'll do it for the potential panel. So $potential panel low, potential panel y pixels equal $potential panel low y to $potential panel high y for each $underscore. Okay. So now, essentially what we have is something, right? And we have something 2. So let's make something 2. And we'll change the numbers here. Well, let's say 7 to 20. Okay, so we have something 1 to 10 and something 2, 7 to 20. Now what we'll do is we'll use the compare object commandlet to tell us if we have some overlap. So let's do it. Compare dash object something. Oh, damn. Here, let me bring that up. Sorry about that, guys. So now we have something contains 1 to 10. It's an array of integers. And then something 2, which is 7 to 20. We'll use the compare object commandlet. We'll feed it $something and $something 2. And what does it do by default? It's going to tell us the different things. So the input is what it found, be it on the left or the right. And the side indicator is telling you, well, I found this only on, in this case, the right side. Same thing here. I found this only on the left side. But we're not looking for the different stuff. We're looking for the stuff that's the same. So we're going to exclude different, and that gives us nothing. But let's include equal. All right. So that means that if we use this and dot count is greater than, or actually greater than or equal to, let's say the margin count. I think that could be a good thing to use. $margin, let's say 15. We know it's 15. So in this case, the count is not greater than 15. So it wouldn't flag for a doc. But if it was greater than or equal to 3, and this should be true, and it is, it would doc. So I think that's what we'll do. I think that works. So if I don't know about compare object. If count greater than or equal to, how many pixels should we validate are, have some overlap on the opposite axis? I really think it should be like the margin. It should be like that. Okay, and in that case, it found a docking opportunity, and it should write the log. Okay, so what's this? This is in the case of if other panels left is on the right, and the, okay, and then, okay. So the panel we're dragging's right should flag an opportunity to dock to the right if the panel's top is above 15 pixels the bottom of the other panel. The panel that we're dragging, its top needs to be 15 pixels or above the bottom of the potential target that was flagged for the side dock. So let's see if we can test that out. So this would not be a docking opportunity. So let's check our rsdoc.performance.
rs out dot performance dot output with altitude. Yeah, that was probably when we moved it earlier. So let's just blank it equal blank. Good. So let's just, this should not trigger anything inside that log. Ah, that's no good. That's no good. That is no good. Why is it generating output? Oh, okay. Bottom side of panel velocity. Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, I know what's going on. We're getting all that stuff because we have those other untreated clauses, so we'll just nuke those temporarily so we can get some cleaner output and see exactly what's going on. Did I close all the panels? I think I did. Okay. So let's try that again. Okay. Should still have nothing. Okay. So I should still have nothing here. Correct. But if I go above, this should have triggered something. Hopefully. Ah, am I doing the right side? If compared to, let's just sweep her around here. Should have triggered something. So our if is definitely gonna need some work. Yeah. Anyone have any ideas? Oh, that's right. I see. So we'll get rid of this. We're gonna go into spacecraft all, and we're gonna switch over to spacecraft all here. We'll save this. We will end our flight. We're gonna switch the program over to the all. Yeah. Let's switch it over to the all because that's what we're trying to just double check here. Load program. SR2 all load. Save to craft. And let's do it. Everyone having a good end of your evening. We'll be streaming a bit more, not too much longer. So I'm gonna start asking if anyone has some questions. Now would be a great time to ask them. I'd love to help out any people who have questions. Even you, Ivana, if you have any questions, even if you're just starting out and want to understand some basic stuff, feel free to ask. There's no such thing as a stupid question here, so don't be bothered by that. Just want to take a second, thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Really appreciate it. Keep going a bit longer. So let's get this in the air. That's good. Kill the throttle. All right. Let's see.
Data is activated. Let's give this a go. Oh, right. But yes, we're getting the other data. That's good. Okay, so what we'll do now is we will have to close ISE because of that weird class thing. And we will go back in here. We'll reopen our working code. This should pop up all the windows. And what we'll do, actually, you know what? I'm going to stop the flight. I want the flight to be during the day because it'll give a better backdrop to the panels. We'll have just a 1 or 2 minute demo, let's say, of the panels to see where we're at. It'll be nice to have a look at our progress. So, yeah, let's go. Yeah, let's just fly it again. We'll fast forward. Okay, we'll fast forward the time. And I'll just end flight, save and exit, and go back in, just so that way from now on the time is there. It'll be a little less annoying having to do that each time. All right, much better. So one thing I will do is I'm going to change my resolution to, yeah, so full HD. Okay, we'll do that. Let's get in the air quickly. There we go, get that up. We'll lock our heading to something that'll give us a decent climb. All right, there we go. So now what we would like to do is kind of uh, test out our panels. See where we're at with the panels and how they look with things. So let's give it a go. How come I got a 0 there? That's not normal. Do we still have the 10 seconds? Where is the listener? Yeah, it's still on 10 seconds. Okay, we'll activate that now. Give it another go. Okay, that's good. All right, so we know that's working. We'll change the delay now to, I don't know, let's say a few minutes. While I'm setting this up for the last kind of demo of the evening before we answer any questions anyone has, I'll just take a minute to set that up. Just give me 1 minute. All right. I'm just going to take off a few things here while we just try and set up our demo of what we've done. kind of get a nice little HUD going here with our panels. Oh, there's AGL, velocity, performance. I like that. We can put those. Planet can go on the side here with atmosphere. Activation groups, I kind of like them down low over here. Something like that. What's this? Fuel. Yeah, we can keep this over here. We got nav. Nav will stay on this side. Inputs. I like my inputs maybe down there. Orbit. That should go with this stuff. What's this? Name. Yeah, we could put this at the top. That could go at the top. Time as well. Orbit. We'll move this up a bit. All right. There we go. And nav. So there you go, guys. That's kind of what our HUD looks like right now. I think it looks pretty awesome. It's starting to really kind of meld a bit with the game. It's got that opacity, which really kind of works nicely with the game. Again, the colors are kind of lining up nicely. We got our debug info of the positioning of the windows kind of nicely tight, so we can deal with the smaller windows, which is nice. We got some of the code done for the docking. Didn't quite figure it out, but we definitely made some progress in trying to trigger things and see what's happening. So definitely gonna continue on that on the next stream. And for now, I think we're just gonna take a few minutes and enjoy the work that we did while this data is being shown. I think it's pretty fantastic as it is right now. But I still want to make sure that it's usable to people who are not so familiar with PowerShell, who might just be familiar with the coding in the game. So yeah, we're not too far from there. Still some PowerShell work to do, but quite happy with where we're at. So I'd like to take a minute and ask if anyone has any questions. Is there anything that you're unclear of in what we're doing here, and you'd like me to take a minute just to, talk about what else what else is going on here in this scene. So please don't hesitate if you have a question. I'll just let this fly out for a couple of minutes. It's nice to see the product of our labor. All these numbers, I'm looking at them, they all look pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Now, again, you can see, for example, like the velocity window, you can see some of the overlap because of those extra characters. So that's definitely something we're going to have to address in the next stream, is really how we're going to deal with the additional spacing that we're going to have to provide for the vector style of data types, just to make sure that we can properly access them and that form of things. So that's definitely something we'll have to approach. Not as fun as some of the docking stuff or some of the layout stuff. So we had some fun today with a bigger stream, going over some of the more visible changes, and some of our upcoming streams, which will be more low key. We'll keep working on the less flashy stuff. And if you want to be aware of those, please click the follow button. You'll just get notifications when I go live. I don't always announce things on social media. The best way that you can stay up to date is really just to follow me on Twitch so you get those notifications. All right. So I just want to see if there's any questions because we will be wrapping up shortly. Does anyone want me to do something to maybe affect the numbers in a certain way? See some changes, some desired changes. I mean, I'm visually inspecting these numbers right now, and they do all look quite good. Very good, actually. Quite happy with that. Take a little screen cap of that. Nice little success that we'll use on our next pre-stream page. Save that for later. I appreciate all of you spending your time with me this evening. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope I managed to teach you something, if anything, or you managed to learn something from me or my mistakes. Got your PowerShell a little bit better so we can all improve our power sheepleness. But if there's no questions, well then, we will be wrapping it up. So let me just once again, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out today. We'll fly away into the sunset. Take us out. I really appreciate your time, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it today. Please join us for the next episode. We'll definitely go a little further into refining the layouts with labels, finish that up, really kind of finalize the kind of layouts of the panels, see if we can move some of the custom code we've created for the events into the panels, which might be a bit tricky because of the parameters we got to have access to. But overall, I think it's definitely doable. Yeah. So we'll just let it go out with this. Again, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please come back. Click the follow button if you had a good time and want to be aware of my lower key streams that I do from time to time. And yeah, check out my Twitch page for the links to YouTube. If you missed a lot of the episode, it'll be uploaded to YouTube within the next day or two. You should be able to catch up on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, PowerShell Done Poorly or PS Done Poorly. You can find me with that. That's it. So if I'll just give let's say 5 minutes of this in case anyone strolls in or thinks of a question they have. Yeah, I'm gonna sign off for now and wish you a good night, and I'll pop back in if anyone has a question. Thank you so much, guys. I enjoyed it. Appreciate it. Wish you all the best remainder of your evening. Thank you. Take care. Thank you so much for the follow, DB Dirk Rom. Really appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. It's the end of the stream, but the stream will be on YouTube. If you'd like to catch up on it, it should be there tomorrow, episode 4. And if you missed any of the previous episodes, they're already on there. So again, thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate it. Sorry about the timing, but like I said, you should be able to access the content tomorrow on YouTube.